Good morning, this is Josh Widdicombe, now available on Sundays. Still with producer Neil.
Good Sunday.
Good Sunday. Good Sunday, yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Enjoying the move to Sundays?
Not too bad.
It's alright, isn't it?
It's nice.
I think it's better. I like it.
It's relaxed.
So, I wonder whether we should be changing the kind of mood and the tone of the show, whether we should be kicking back and relaxing a bit more. But it's not like Saturday morning's that intense a thing, is it?
The pre-football build-up.
The pre-football build-up.
The rush to get the big shop.
The rush do you do your big shop on a Saturday morning?
No, I'm not crazy.
Oh, wait, when do you do your big shop?
Varies.
I haven't done a big shop in about... I've never done a big shop. I don't think I've ever done a big shop. Oh, because I've never had a car. Why would... Cause if I did the big shop, all the food would go off. Why do people do big shops?
Well, look,
I live life on a day-to-day basis, mate.
One Sunday after the show...
I'm not going on a big shop with you.
Okay, fine.
We haven't got that close. What would we do on the big shop?
I think you would say...
I bet you... I know what you do. I bet you go in, you buy your food, and then before you go, you have a lovely cup of tea in the Sainsbury's cafe.
I've not got time for that.
Have you not got time for that?
I was going to say, we'll get to the supermarket. I'll put you in the trolley.
Oh, very funny. Yeah, very
clever.
clever.
Push you around.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can do that, and we've got various... It's exciting, this, because we've had a kind of spring clean of the show. There's new features, we've got new guests. Basically, it's sunny outside, Neil, full of beans. If we could play the Boo Radleys, I'd play the Boo Radleys, but it's not going to happen. Instead, we got Sara Pascoe, fresh from being nominated for the big award in Edinburgh. Cardinal Burns, who British Comedy Award winning sketch duo. Nathaniel Metcalf is here with his preview of the week's TV from history. Also, we've got a brand new game, but more of that later.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Enjoying the music?
Always love the music. That's why I work at XFM.
Is that why you work here?
Yeah. Have I told you the story about XFM? My sister went to university in London when I was growing up, and she used to send me tapes of XFM.
What?
Because
you loser!
Because there was nothing to listen to in Birmingham. But
wow! So you'd listen to tapes of the radio?
Yeah.
So you'd say, like, listen to The Breakfast Show?
Yeah, I think it mainly used to be like Ricky Gervais and stuff like that.
Adjusting to Sundays?
Yeah.
It's this kind of... What it has done, you're enjoying it, but you're kind of... Linguistically, you're kind of stalled.
Yeah, I think because I have to get the train an hour earlier on Sunday from when we did the show on a Saturday.
Why is that?
Because it's Sunday timetables, it's rubbish.
Oh, well, there we go.
I had to get a bus last week.
Well, you know what Margaret Thatcher thinks of anyone that takes a bus after the age of 30?
No.
You failed at life.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite a big judgment call.
It really is, but she was someone who would put her neck on the line.
You could give her that credit.
Yeah, that's one of the few. Let's not get political, because we've spent 2 years avoiding that, so let's not dip our toe in those waters just yet.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
That was what producer Neil described as the latest effort from Queens of the Stone Age, which is the kind of rather derogatory way that we would be describing them on the Josh Widdicombe Show. I wouldn't say that.
I've just heard the album a lot, but that is one of my favourite singles.
That's one of your favourite singles. What's your view on the album?
Great album. A lot of effort's gone into it.
Yeah, it's just the minimum you expect. There's a lot of effort. Now, any other business each week at this time in the show, we deal with listeners' complaints. Basically, we opened ourselves up about 6 months ago to this because someone had complained about something. We thought, let's make this a feature. People pedantically complaining. People are getting more and more pedantic. If we uphold the complaint, it will sound like this. There we go. And if we reject it...
No way.
Dear Josh and producer Neil, I am writing to complain. Good start. I'm writing to complain about an ongoing consistency error in each week's Any Other Business. At the beginning of this section, you clearly state that if the AOB is to be rejected, Neil will make a sound with his voice to signify this. Open brackets, as opposed to a bell when it is upheld. Close brackets. I mean, that's so far so good. However... When the time comes, you fail to follow through with this promise and simply state this rejected without the accompanying sound effect. I'm sure you appreciate just how confusing this can be to listeners, and I hope you'll rectify this as soon as possible. Yours pedantically, Hannah Ord.
I think just to be facetious. No way, man.
Well, no, because the problem is, by rejecting it with the sound, you've upheld her complaint. So now we have to accept her complaint, which will... It's one of those things where it keeps turning. Because if we accept her complaint, then we haven't proven her point. So then we have to reject her complaint and prove her point. I don't know where we are with Hannah Ward.
Nor do I.
What we need to do is reject it by not making the sound. Let's move on. Dear Josh, producer Neil, intern Charles, and any guests you might have. Sara Pascoe coming up later. Any other business. 25 minutes and 47 seconds through podcast 74. I mean, we're all aware of it. There's people at home going, well, I know what this is going to be. You said to Neil that he was the opposite of Alanis Morissette. Now, I don't actually remember saying that, but I've been thinking it for a while. Do you agree that you're the opposite of Alanis Morissette?
I'd say I am, yeah.
Yeah?
She's rich and successful.
Oh, that's unfair. She's not successful anymore. Though she's probably still squirreled away some money, hasn't she? I don't know. You said this after Neil explained he only has to select... Oh, you said this after Neil explained how he only has a select number of knives and forks in his house. Presumably you're referring to the Alanis Morissette smash hit, Ironic, in which Alanis sings, it's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. If Neil was the opposite of Alanis Morissette, he would only have knives in the house. Therefore, your labelling is incorrect. Yours pedantically, Jamie from Vauxhall.
I remember it, yeah.
Do you remember this conversation?
Yeah.
And did you think at the time?
Thinking back, Jamie in Vauxhall's got it bang on.
There we go. It's a weak belling again. Dear Josh and producer Neil, I very much enjoyed attending your Edinburgh show on Tuesday the 12th of August. There we go. I was, however, dismayed, sickened and disappointed by a basic factual error committed by Josh during the otherwise enjoyable Edinburgh podcast number 1. Whilst discussing Carabine, Matthew Crosby's in quotation marks, band, being inducted into the paddock, Josh made a stunning faux pas. In reference to the culinary touchstone that is Ready Steady Cook, at precisely 51 minutes 45 seconds, Josh refers to green tomatoes and red peppers. Of course, everyone knows that it's red tomatoes and green peppers. Yours pedantically, Monty Gimple. P.S. Neil's face doesn't work with his voice. Well, we're going to have to deal with it one complaint at a time. Number 1, the Ready Steady Cook thing, I admit that was a mistake. Number 2, Monty Gimple is not the name of this listener. It's the name of someone that was also, they used at that show. We questioned their name. I've since had texts and tweets saying that Monty Gimple is a footballer.
Yeah, played for Leeds, I think.
Played for Leeds. And people have been using it as a pseudonym. I think, as a way of kind of showing that you listen to the show, if you can get the words Monty Gimple into any kind of and let us know how it's gone. Starbucks, that'd be a good place. What's your name, Monty Gimple? Hashtag Monty Gimple. P.S. Neil's face doesn't work with his voice. Correct, upheld. Dear Josh, producer Neil and intern Charles, open brackets, if he can be bothered to show up, close brackets.
Charles?
No, he's not here. In episode 73 of the podcast, Josh refers to Poland as an Eastern European country. This is a mistake often made, as since the Berlin Wall fell, Poland's actually been classified as Central Europe. Yours pedantically, Jacob, open brackets, pronounced Jakob, close brackets.
Well, he seems bang on.
Upheld. Final one. Dear Josh, producer Neil and intern Charles, during AOB on last week's show, listener Joseph complained about Mike Wozniak's knowledge of Power Rangers by incorrectly misquoting and relaying the original dialogue. Joseph claimed Mike had told a story about when he woke up dressed as a Power Ranger with 3 others standing over him. This story was actually sent in by a listener, Lloyd Thompson, and Josh read, I went to the Le Mans 24-hour race in France, woke up next to my friend in a gazebo, both dressed as Power Rangers. Lloyd and friend plus 3 Power Rangers equals 5 in total. This is turning into a maths question.
Yeah.
I've drifted off. We'll carry on. As you can see, apart from Joseph being correct about how many Power Rangers there should be, he was completely wrong about everything else in his AOB and should be stripped of his upheld bell. Yours pedantically, Joanne Clark.
I want this to be over.
Thank you very much. If you have any more AOBs for next week, preferably shorter than Joanne's, email josh@xfm.co.uk. This is Daft Punk Around the World.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Are you a thrifty man, Neil?
I would say I'm careful.
In what sense?
I'm always having to go at my wife and leaving lights on, just where they don't need to be left on.
My parents would do a competition with themselves of how late they could put the heating on every year. They could get to November.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was always... The problem with that competition is it always ended in defeat. because they always cracked. My dad would happily wear coats inside. I use coats as a plural. You know that episode of Friends where Joey's wearing all the clothes?
Yeah.
That's what you need with the house I grew up in, come winter. So, what other ways do you...
No.
And you've obviously, you're a father. Are you thrifty around...
Daughter gets everything she wants.
Terrible parenting, that, isn't it? Really?
She doesn't know what she wants at the moment, though. She's only 10 months.
I mean, you really need to stamp out on that, otherwise you're going to create a real nightmare for yourself.
What should I dress her in? Like, just...
Sack.
Cloths.
They don't even know what they're wearing at that age. I don't know how it works.
Duster.
A duster.
And then when she's crawling around...
She dusts.
Yeah.
Double saving. There you go. So we've asked for your texts and tweets. We have plenty coming up, including... My dad has emailed in, Neil.
Brilliant.
Hi, Josh. By the way, just for point of colour, you might need to know this. My dad runs a part-time stall on Totnes Market on a Friday morning. Hi, Josh. As you know, I didn't become a successful market trader by throwing my money around. Here are a couple of stories of tightness that you might like to share with your listeners. When I get to market every Friday morning, I unload the van and then drive out to the edge of town to get free parking. I then walk back into town, so for the cost of 50 pence worth of diesel and a 20-minute walk, at the end of each day I manage to save paying £3 parking ticket. Of course, I have just to hope that no one has nicked £3 worth of stuff by the time I get back. Second tip, and this one I really like, is to always look out for old folks' coffee mornings. Instead of paying sometimes well in excess of £2 for a coffee, I often pick one up for as little as 50p. Hoping these little tips come in handy, love, Dad. Will you be using either of those tips?
I think the coffee morning one.
So, but does he not need to mill with the old folks?
Well, it's a nice experience if you want.
Also, they're not going to give you a takeaway cup, are they?
It's the third tip. He's got a load of cups he's gathered sold on his stall.
Well, what you could do is you could go to the old folks' coffee morning, get it in a china cup, and then put it into your own takeaway coffee cup. I'm surprised he hasn't got a thermos. More of these next week. Tips from my dad. Maybe we should have tips of tightness from Tom Widdicombe.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Josh Widdicombe XFM. I think that is all the details we need at this moment, Neil.
Yeah.
Producer Neil, that is. Not enough details. That was the problem. We're talking about stories of tightness, and you revealed that you've got an issue with your wife leaving the lights on. It was more entertaining than that if you've only just tuned in. We've had an email from A. Smith. My ex-boss used to move the light bulb to whichever room he was using at the time rather than have one per room. I don't believe that can be true.
No, because that would be so difficult to install in pitch black.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know whether it means in the office... You're not buying it?
No.
Also, the heat of the bulb would mean you'd have to invest in a kind of... a bulb-moving glove. That's what you'd need, a kind of oven glove. And I imagine, I don't know this, that the repeated moving of the light bulb would probably damage its longevity. Because you'd be ruining the filament. Well, if A. Smith wants to argue back, we have the email address josh@xfm.co.uk, and we will happily listen to your argument that that's true. Not buying it myself. Maybe A. Smith would like to experiment for that for a week and see whether they think that is a workable system.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
The Universal from the criminally underrated The Great Escape. Actually a good album. It's just circumstances being what they were, people decided to take against it. Much like you in the office, Neil. only joking. Great album. He thought of Cars, one of the best Blur songs of all time. Bit of trivia for you there. Is that a fact?
I'd say that's a fact.
That's a fact. Right. We've messed around long enough. Let's get on with today's text stories. Let's get the listeners involved, yeah? It's not just me and you here. This is a nation, or a small segment of the nation, listening to the radio. And is it back to school this week? Next week? Doesn't really matter. We're doing a childhood special. And we thought it's kind of both subjects based around being cool when you're a kid. Firstly, I'm surprised. I say this every week now when we come up with something new, because we've done so many episodes. I'm surprised we haven't done this before. It's my new catchphrase. Surprised we haven't done this before. Childhood graffiti. What did you graffiti? Or you'd always... There would be various graffiti. There was a... I wasn't even going to say that. I've just remembered this. I had a wall. I was allowed one what would now be called a kind of impact wall or something like that in my bedroom, feature wall, which was, so I had normal wallpaper, but I wasn't allowed the whole room, but I was allowed one that was that exposed brick effect wallpaper. And then my friend Christopher Campkin got the same thing. And his dad got spray paints and allowed him to graffiti it. His dad was quite good artistically. So have a guess what you think he what mural he made.
I would like to think it was Tupac and Biggie in heaven.
Yeah, wait, what a preemptive mural.
Maybe.
That would have looked like a threat. He'd have been a suspect. No, I don't know if you remember there was an advert for Lion Bar where they drew the Lion Bar logo on a wall with graffiti. So he had that. I didn't have anything on mine, but this isn't because I'm authentically working class, because we had an inside toilet as well, but there was also an outside toilet, right? And we had pens that we could write, and I remember writing Liverpool 1 million, Manchester United 0. Bloody showed them. And didn't that bear fruit throughout the 90s and following decades? Did you graffiti anything? Books was the other one, like your exercise books.
Yeah, we just I used to cover them in like Match, so I'd put like a magazine around.
Yeah, I remember having a poster of Stan Collymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you graffiti anything?
I can't.
Quite well behaved. But what we're looking for is, did you write anything on tables, books, walls, any childhood graffiti?
I was walking around the park where I live, and I did see one bit of graffiti that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because someone had written, in graffiti, the internet was down, I had nothing else to do.
Oh, that's the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, that feels like the opening lyric to a Brian Molko song. So the other one we wanted is when your teachers tried to be cool.
Oh, cool.
Now, I had a teacher called Mr. Cudliscus. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have said his name. Actually, it's fine, isn't it? Yeah. And he, to give you an idea of how cool he was the kind of person that would wear a funny outfit on Mufti Day. Like, he came dressed as a school child once. But on the first day we had him, he said, so we were about 11, 12, this would have been in the mid-90s, and he said, yeah, I'm a teacher, but, I'm just like you. I'm into bands. I like Texas. I like the prod.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like me. You'd have chaplains as well that would come in, and we had or a vicar.
No.
Did you not have that?
No.
C of E school? No.
No.
So we had a vicar. I don't remember. He was called Darryl, and he had a canoe at one point, but I can't remember what the metaphor was.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Before we big up what's coming up, let's get into the listeners. We've had a lot of tweets and on these subjects of teachers attempting to be cool or graffiti when you're a child. Just want to kind of to wet your whistle, if you will. This is superb. I once graffitied the back of my built-in wardrobes with "Lee is cool," thinking I'd get away with it because my name is Leo. That's Leo from Burnley. I would argue that maybe, it's spelled Lee double E, so it's just a different person. What did he think? Because the scenario he's presumably selling to his parents is that someone called Lee has broken in and graffitied the back of his wardrobes. We have had similar ones of people who've thought they'd get away with it. There's one of a girl, age 5, this is Laura Sorensen, age 5, I carved my name into my new desk, then tried to blame it on my brother. Mum did not believe me as my brother was 3 years old.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
And now joined by Sara Pascoe.
Hello.
Hello. Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend. Good friend.
Good friend.
Almost cousin.
Almost cousin, yeah. The show wouldn't act on anything with you for fear of ruining the relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Does that make you feel...
And because of legal recrimination.
Because of legal recriminations. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good.
Just got back from the Lake District.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Now,
I went kayaking.
You've been kayaking?
Yeah.
Is that like a two-person canoe?
We got a two-person canoe, yeah. It was like a team-building exercise with me and my boyfriend. We've been much more solid ever since.
Oh, that's nice. Did you also have to build a shack out of logs and stuff together to...
Well, I tell you what we did do. We got to an island in the middle and then we were disgusted at how much litter there was, so we collected it.
Did you?
In our canoe and took it back. We were like, who drinks Desperados on a beautiful island?
Wow. And then what did you do? Bring it back?
Yeah.
Like kind of
In the
womble?
Well. Yeah, like wombles.
Like a seafaring womble?
Water wombles.
Now, last time we were united on the airwaves or television, it was filmed about 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But it feels like yesterday because I think about it.
I haven't seen you since our Pointless was shown. We won Pointless.
This is our victory tour.
This is our victory tour.
Victory tour.
The open top bus tour of London that we're going to do with the trophies.
Our trophies, just prisms of light reflecting through offices.
Did you see it, Neil? Unbelievable.
I was in Edinburgh.
You're in Edinburgh, yeah.
I think you still find it online.
Yeah, you can.
Who got to keep the trophy?
You get one each, mate.
One each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they don't stint.
They don't stint. No, they are a lot smaller than you expect.
Doesn't matter.
Unlike Richard Osman.
Precious. Oh yeah, he's massive.
He's massive.
And you don't get to keep one of him.
No. Oh, I wish. I'd love to keep Richard Osman.
Yeah, it'd be good, wouldn't it?
Dream guest.
He'd be a butler, a good butler.
Oh, right.
Oh, you would, wouldn't he?
He'd be able to hold loads of stuff in his hands. Only one trip from the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, he'd be able to do 4 plates at once.
Yeah, and hold your big... If you had to read a big paper, you'd be able to hold it out for you.
The Telegraph.
Yeah, the Telegraph.
Now, you're back from Edinburgh.
Yes.
Nominated for the Fosters.
Yeah, it's in my
award.
trophy cabinet with my
Is
Pointless.
that in your trophy cabinet with your
It's not
Pointless?
really a cabinet, it's the...
What an August it's been.
I've got 3 awards now, all made of plexiglass. Pointless, Fosters and Chortle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you win any? Did you win Chortle?
I got a Best Breakthrough Act 2014.
What a year it's been!
It's been crazy.
And now, the question is, if your house was on fire and you could only save one of those awards...
Uh-oh. I think they might all be fireproof. I think I might grab a couple of books and a saucepan.
If the apocalypse comes, all that will be left will be your awards.
Yeah.
We're talking this morning about childhood. Well, more specifically, there's 2 things. We'll come back to you on this
All right,
because I haven't brought them up.
Yeah.
But just to plant them in your head. Childhood graffiti.
Oh.
Or covering of books. Or,
I see.
Or did your teachers ever try and be cool?
Oh.
Now, I'm going to read you one.
Okay.
Because we've had quite a lot in, haven't we, Neil?
A mountain.
Hi, Josh. Our science teacher would rap chemical formulae and called himself MC Squared.
That's brilliant.
That's from Jack. I almost said MC Squared Jack, but I realised that's from Jack. Did you... We haven't asked you, Neil, have we? If your teacher... Did your teachers try and be cool, ever?
There was one in particular, a guy called Mr. Delaney, who taught us German. And he, in year 10, basically, he fancied himself as a stand-up comic.
Oh, no.
So for year 10, he tried to do a routine.
What?
To perfect it, which meant...
What, in class?
Yeah.
Like David Brent.
Yeah. So we did our mock GCSEs and the whole class failed.
Because he'd been doing a stand-up.
I'm not going to libel him and say that was because...
But there are so many comics who used to be teachers, like Ramesh.
Yeah, Ramesh
I
Ranganathan.
wonder if that's what they were doing at school.
Well, Ramesh wouldn't like me to mention this, so I will. There is online a video of Ramesh Ranganathan, friend of the show, doing it's a rap at his school assembly, Mr. Ranganathan's rap, the video is called. And it really is worth seeing.
Is it worth tweeting a link?
No, because he'd kill me.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Continuing on from, I've mentioned that Ramesh Ranganathan, the comedian of Mock the Week fame, is used to be a cool teacher. Someone's tweeted in, my head of 6th form was actually Ramesh Ranganathan. I didn't know he'd reached such heights.
Oh my God, he never brags about his power.
Yeah. He was known as Rangers. And I don't understand why he hasn't carried this through to his new career. Emily and Crawley. He will have carried it through now I've got the knowledge of that.
Yeah, now we know his Rangers.
We'll get
Rangesh?
We'll get Rangesh on the show. Rangers on the show as soon as we can. Have we got time for one more, Neil?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is on the subject, but first world problem. I'm currently making a bacon sandwich and can't decide on brown sauce or tomato ketchup. Please help before it gets cold. Karina.
Right, Karina, if that's the kind of thing that is troubling you in the morning, you don't deserve a bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
A pig died to give you that. Its life is ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's fair. It's also awkward because I don't eat meat. You're vegan.
Yeah.
So
you're
Neil?
asking the wrong people. Just eat sauce on its own with a spoon.
I would say...
Should we have the bread?
Eat twice as much bacon to make up for Josh and Sarah not having it.
That's bad
And
logic.
have
That's
Horrible logic. Pigs, attack! Get Neil!
If you have any, not those queries, that's not what this show is, but you have anything on the actual topics.
Ring the Samaritans if you can't decide what sauce to put in your sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. The child line's there for a reason.
Yeah.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast XFM.
The lost art of keeping a secret, the Queens of the Stone Age on XFM. Josh Widdicombe, Sunday morning. Producer Neil is still here.
Good Sunday morning.
And Sara Pascoe.
Hello.
Hello. Now, I've... previously, for the last 6 months, Neil has set a game that we've played. Neil of Fortune, you called it. So I thought I'd take over the reins with a thing I'm calling Call My Josh. Is that new? Is that
Is it
music?
the theme tune?
It's the theme tune to Call My Bluff.
Oh, that's good. That's nice, isn't it?
You're gonna rip off
So is it, if we're going to rip something off, let's make it very clear.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not. Basically, each week I'm choosing a subject, and I'm going to give you it's 3 rounds. You've got 3 options. One is a true thing. 2 I've made up. And this week I've done historic British quiz shows.
Oh, dear.
So I'm going to 3 rounds. I'm going to read out the 3 descriptions of British quiz shows, and you each have to choose one. The one who wins. The one who loses.
Do we shout in?
So we're guessing whether it's true or false?
I'll give you 3. One of them's true. You have to pick which one's true.
Okay.
Are we shouting in so someone gets the first option?
No, Sarah goes first in the first round, you go first in the second round, and Sarah goes third.
It's going to be civilised, Neil.
Yes, come on.
Right.
Come on, mate. Okay, round 1. A, B or C. Which one of these is real? No win, no fee. Oh, by the way, if you know, don't shout. Paul Ross hosts a daytime game show in which the contestants can win his fee for presenting the show as the prize, leaving him with nothing. B, every dog has his day. Alison Hammond from Big Brother hosts ITV daytime TV show pitting dogs against their owners in a battle of wits. Who will get to win a holiday, owner or dog? You can ask questions at the end. Well, C, create a good impression. 3 members of the public have to answer questions in the voice of the answer. Hosted by Bobby Davra.
Right. You should pitch all of those. You're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah, by the way, I own the rights to all of these.
Oh, yeah, you should make this
Any thoughts, Neil?
I'm going to go
Sarah,
first.
Sarah.
I think the correct answer is A.
A, no win, no fee.
No win, no fee.
Neil?
I'm going to go for B because I had a spell of unemployment and that sounds horrendously
Every
familiar.
dog has his day.
There.
In which owners or dogs compete to win a holiday.
The bit that made me think, I thought Alison Hammond rang true, but what I didn't think rang true was the idea of dogs going on holiday independently.
You're not buying that?
No, I'm not.
I'm picturing the dog in like a long coat with a hat, getting on a train with a...
Yeah, I'm picturing that too, which makes me think it's not real. Because I've never seen them on the train.
No, that is true. That is true. Sarah has the correct answer. 1 point for Sarah. There we go. Round 2.
In your face, Neil.
This is a fun game.
It's a really fun game.
I've had 1 round.
We only have 1 round. All right.
Wasn't this a round on the Comedy World Cup
I think it might have
with
been.
sitcoms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do sitcoms one week.
Okay.
I mean, Comedy World Cup doesn't exist. I think it's fair game.
Is it not coming back, Josh?
I don't know. Well, it hasn't for 4 years.
You destroyed it.
I destroyed it.
You
I
won
won
it
that.
so hard.
I won it, yeah. You ready, Neil?
Yes.
Okay. A, having a ball. Andrew Castle hosts the Channel 5 show in which contestants have to catch an increasingly larger ball in each round.
Must be.
You're not buying that? Right. Man v Beast. 6-part series in which men and animals compete in events such as hot dog eating versus a bear, 100 metres versus a giraffe, and sumo wrestler versus orangutan tug of war. Hosted by John Fashanu, it was never shown due to complaints from animal rights activists.
Ooh.
Or C, Top Hat. JK from Jamiroquai tours the country on a moped, giving £100 to anyone wearing a hat.
I am going to stake my job on it being B.
You think it's Man versus Beast?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Because I've seen the YouTube clip of an orangutan having a tug of war against a sumo wrestler. And it
Really?
Really?
John Fashanu hosted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You going with that?
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to go with A.
You're going to go with A.
Catching
having a
balls.
ball. I think that's a good idea, having a ball.
Yeah.
I'd watch that. So what happens is increasingly large balls are dropped. You have to catch them.
Yeah, and you have to stand in a very small square.
Oh, yeah,
You
that
wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah, you can't
have to
move.
just grab it.
and
And if you
stay.
fall off, you're gone.
Yeah. It's a great idea. Sadly, the answer is Man versus Beast.
Yes!
The event I want to see is 100 metres versus a
Yeah,
giraffe.
versus a giraffe.
I can get that YouTube clip during the next song.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Also, there's so these events are in the American version that was shown on Fox, and then they brought it over to the UK, filmed it, and they weren't allowed to do it.
Yeah.
There was one on the Wikipedia that said there was a tug of who could pull a plane, and it was an elephant against 44 dwarves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Isn't that?
Who came up with the number of dwarves?
I don't know.
Yeah.
They must have measured the pulling power
Yes, I guess.
Of one?
energy, yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Like horsepower.
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decider.
This is
Yeah,
a decider.
Okay.
Okay. A. Bounce. Matthew Kelly hosts the show in which contestants answer questions to lengthen their bungee cord. Who can bounce the lowest?
Ooh.
It's a puppet. Brian Connolly hosts a Saturday night spin-off of his puppet sketch in which members of the public have to identify if they're on a date with a human or a puppet.
Ooh.
Or C. Cash cab. Contestants get in a cab not knowing they can answer questions from the driver to win cash. How much cash can they win before reaching their
See,
destination?
Cash Cab.
Oh, you're a fan.
They parodied it on 30 Rock.
Oh,
Tracy
did they?
Jordan's on the way to getting his baby.
So is it an American thing?
I think so.
Oh.
I wanted to say C, but that won't leave a
No, well,
resolution.
that means that Sarah
No, we
wins.
can draw, Neil. I'm happy to draw.
We've got to do something about this for next week.
No, I want to say B, because I think I would just love that to be.
It's a puppet.
Yeah, I'd love that to be a show.
I think Bounce is the best idea. My friend worked on Cash Cab,
Yeah.
and
So you're saying that's the right answer then?
oh yeah,
Oh, no, for Neil.
but she is a fantasist. So yeah, Cash Cab's the right answer. Wins Sara Pascoe. And I've realised I can't tell the story about working on Cash Cab.
Okay.
On it, well, I can, because he was a cabbie.
Yeah.
Cabbies never stop to go to the toilet.
Never.
They go in the car. They go in a.
In a bottle.
Yeah, so he was doing that, and they were like, "We can stop. It's fine. We're filming a TV thing."
Yeah.
But he was in the habit of going to the
Couldn't
toilet.
use
in a bo-
toilets.
Couldn't use toilets.
Couldn't go.
Bit of trivia:
so
the guy
clinical.
from Cash Cab can't use toilets.
Or any taxi driver. Do you think
Well-
that they're at home in bed and they wake up in the night, they have to go and get in the front of their car
Yeah.
to go to the toilet?
And do you know what they also do? They set the meter going to see how long it is.
Oh, of course you would.
Yeah, you would. So there we go. I don't think that worked well.
That's a great game.
Did you enjoy that?
Very much so.
I really enjoyed it. I like the idea of the dates with puppets as well.
Yeah, I think that was the one that was most dodgy. If you want to suggest what the subject matter for next week's is, text us 83936 or tweet us at XFM. This is brand new music. Take me to the church, Hosier.
My lover's got you.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
I leave it all.
Budapest, George Ezra, Josh Widdicombe Show, Sunday morning on XFM. Producer Neil is still in the house.
Word up.
Word up.
You thought about that for a second.
thought about whether you
what
could
would make me
enjoy
sound the coolest? You went for word up.
Sarah Pascoe still here.
Word up.
Word up, word up, and it's good to have my homies in. We are talking about two things: graffiti, which I imagine Neil does a lot when he's saying "word up." What's your tag?
IDST. Word up. If destroyed, still true.
This is one of my favourite. This comes from Jack Baxter. This is on childhood graffiti. At school, some joker wrote my mum's name, Gaynor, on the drama hall ceiling.
Whoa.
A feat that rivals the construction of Stonehenge. That is when bullying because...
Well, I'm really suspicious about his mum. Actually.
What, you think about his mum?
Might be her tag. She might be incredibly tall. So he could never be naughty in drama because he'd look up and go, uh-oh.
Did you have to take your shoes off in drama?
I don't know. Probably to create proper levels. But sometimes you had to climb on each other.
We used to have
levels to convey status. That's the one thing I remember from drama.
We did a oh god, I was about to talk about my final piece in GCSE drama.
Everyone's was either about drugs or suicide cults. Yeah. GCSE drama, everyone's.
Mine was I can't go into it, it's too painful.
Come on, quickly, pitch it.
I don't remember.
It was a play about I don't know which World War it was.
15-year-olds, so much insight into war.
Yeah. And I was playing we were in like the war hospital. I was a blind soldier who'd been blinded, and then there was the other soldier, and he was telling me what was outside the window.
Oh my gosh, I'm already crying.
Oh yeah, and it was about and he was telling me there was this woman and I was in love with this woman that he was describing, and then he died and they replaced him. And I asked the person to describe who was walking past it, and he went, "It's a brick wall." What an ending!
What an ending!
But my favourite was the guy there was one of us who was like more proactive, and he'd written it, and he'd written the description of the woman. And there was a great bit when he was describing it must have been, in his views, like what his dream woman, and he described her posture as her back, a back that looks like it's supported by unbreakable iron rods.
Ooh, like a robot.
Like a robot woman. Like a robot woman. Robot back. And that stuck with me to this day. Harry Long, if you're listening, it's a beautiful poetry. There you go.
I bet he's a famous playwright now.
I bet he is. Yeah, he's now. I can't name a playwright.
Patrick Marber.
Patrick Marber. Yes.
You went to school with him.
Yeah, I went to school with Patrick Marber, and I'm only wearing Patrick Marber because he was in our own part.
Yeah, exactly.
Not because
Same
he's a playwright. We were. That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come more of those. What I've done is I've gone so far off topic I can't go back.
But it's fun to think about school.
Yeah.
Teachers, I was thinking about how in comic relief and stuff, that's when the teachers always did stuff, not to be cool, but did weird things.
Yeah. I remember my PE teacher, Mr. Dinny, got his flat top shaved off.
What's a flat top?
Like,
is it head hair? I really hope it's head hair.
Michael Douglas.
It's head hair. Yeah. Do you remember Michael Douglas in Falling Down?
No.
Just like
Will Smith in The Fresh Prince.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Only white.
Did Michael Douglas have afro?
Josh Widdicombe XFM.
Do you want to, as a thank you, do you want to plug your tour?
Yes.
Or anything else?
Yeah, or anything else. I'm doing a tour in the autumn from October to January. That's not the autumn, is it? That's the winter. But all the details are on my website. I got a website that a man made me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good website.
Yeah, I scanned it in as a joke onto Twitter and he made it. For free.
Wow. What do you owe him now?
I don't know.
No, I don't mean like that.
Something he's not getting.
But so he said, can I make your website? And
No, so I scanned a joke in. I've designed my website and it was all post-it notes on squared paper. I said, I've designed my website, how do I get it into the internet? And then 3 weeks later, this man went, I've done your website for you.
Oh my word.
Isn't that lovely?
It's brilliant.
So all the dates of my tour are on that.
I'm going to do that.
And what is the website?
SaraPascoe.com. Classic.
Oh, well done. So go on there for the dates of the tour, all around the country.
And the other thing I'd like to promote is world peace.
Oh, yeah.
Love each other, guys.
Yeah, and that's in autumn or winter.
Yeah, all the way through to February.
All the way through to February.
It's an extension.
Josh Widdicombe XFM.